Alright, how's it going? Today we're doing Pit of Heresy Solar Flawless on Titan, using Strand Berserker Titan with Syntheseps and the new Banner of War aspect to greatly increase our melee damage and also give us a lot of healing as well. We're using a 1-2-punch shotgun, Wayframe Grenade Launcher, and Leviathan's Breath for weapons. So let's get right into this. We're going to start with a grapple over to the entrance to the pit, and we're just going to fall down for a bit. Now we're coming up on the first encounter, the Necropolis. What you're going to have to do for this is find the 3 disciples of the Broken Blade and kill them with a sword. Sword relic, that is. And you do that in 3 different ways for each disciple. Firstly, we're going to have to find the sword, and it's always in the same place to start off with. It's in this tower with the A rune. So we're just going to go to it. We're going to 1-2 punch the Pit Keeper, that opens the door. And then we can find the Sword Bearer within, along with 3 runes on those chains. We're going to go to the corresponding towers with those runes, and we'll find the disciples there. So our closest one is the circle one. So we're just going to go over to that now. Circle is a bit dangerous because there are 2 ogres that like to hang about there. But I managed to give them the slip somehow. 100 resilience, very good. Anyway, I'm trying to find the Pit Keeper now. 2 light swings and a heavy will kill. So we just do... oh, sorry, 2 light swings and a super will kill him. So now we've got the Shrieker. What you have to do for this is block and reflect all of its projectiles back against it, which will kill it. You can also block things from behind you, and they will go, and they will deflect to in front of you somehow. Don't ask. Anyway, so now we've got the lines. Somehow lose all my health there, which is wonderful. Anyway, so we're going to do the same thing, kill the Pit Keeper. Somehow I got into the air, which means my super did less damage, but still managed to take it out the same. For this one we have wizards. We've got 3 wizards, 2 just regular wizards and 1 boss. We, to kill the boss, what we have to do is use the heavy attacks, but before we do that we're going to take out the small wizards with a 1-2 punch for each of them. So now I'm just spamming heavy attacks. And then that's that done. Now we're going to have to get a new sword because we've almost run out of ammo. Just take out that ogre because I don't like him. Now I start going up this lift, but then I remember that there's a sword bearer that spawns very consistently at circle, so I'm just going to go there instead. Gonna take out this ogre. And here's the sword bearer. So I'm just going to pick up the sword and get back up on the lift up to Bakuzawa. Gonna 2 light hits and a super to take out the Pit Keeper again, and this time we have the Knight, accompanied by some Thrall. Not too difficult. You need to use light swings to damage the Knight, but I'm using heavy swings to take out the Thrall as well, thanks to the area of effect. You can also use your super, but it will only do damage if your feet are on the ground when you cast it. And that's all 3 done. Now all we got to do is get to the exit, which is marked by a big green pillar of light. There you go. So we're just going to fly over using the sword. The sword will completely change your momentum, so you can fall as much as you want and you'll be fine. So all we gotta do is kill this Pit Keeper now, and that's the Necropolis done. So now we're just going to make our way through this crack here, and down into the tunnels. And we're at the next encounter, the Pit. For this, you need to find 3 knights and dunk the orbs they drop in each of the 3 hallways, I guess you call them, while avoiding the immortal ogres and just generally staying alive. Okay, so I'm using the wave frame to take things out after a melee kill. This will give me a lot of Banner of War stacks, which is great for dealing with the ogres because we can just run straight past them and they can't do anything to us. As you can see, health packs already. So we just have to make it to the end of the corridor. Use a grapple and dunk the orb. Now we're going to go through here, do the same thing. This time we're going to go out through the other side, but before we do that I'm going to want to get some Banner of War stacks again, because this middle ogre is the most annoying to deal with. And if you've attempted this you'll probably understand why I say that. So we're just going to run out and hope we don't die, basically. And pick up the final orb. You might have noticed that melee kills while holding the orb do count as powered melees, and so they will spawn orbs of light if you have the heavy-handed mod, which does come into play later in the run, so I do suggest having that if you want to try this. Anyway, once we've done with all 3 of those, we're just going to wait a second till the ogres flee, and then we're going to start up the Chamber of Suffering, which isn't actually too bad, especially with this build. We want to get a melee kill, get some Banner of War stacks, and then use the wave frame to multiply your stacks and keep them going. We want to get 6 orbs and dunk them in the middle by killing 6 knights like before. They spawn periodically in left to right order, and you have to do this all while holding the plate. By that I mean if you're off the plate for too long, you wipe. It's not too bad, but you do have to be quick. That's about it. So, once we dunk one of the orbs, a bunch of Thrall, Cursed Thrall, and Boomer Knights will spawn. That'll happen every time we dunk an orb as well. But as you can see, having Woven Mail and Banner of War means it's very hard to die. Now we're just going to stand on the plate a bit to cool it down before we dunk this next orb. And we're just going to go for the next knight now. Take him out, pick up the orb, and get into the middle. Now it's very easy to keep up Banner of War ×4 here because there are just so many things to kill. Which means this really is a bit of a pushover. They can just stand in the middle and survive for a very long time. So now we've done 4 orbs, we just need the 5th and 6th from the middle and the right knights. So we're just going to go over and say hello to them. I didn't mean to do that, but whatever. You do have to be quick with the middle knights, because it is the hardest to get to, or the longest to get to, I guess. So the timing can become quite tight. Now just one more orb. Just killing some things just to make things a bit cleaner. And the Leviathan's Breath Shot will take it out. Now we just have to dunk it, and the suffering's ended. And now we're going to go through the Fall of Death. It's not too hard, just time your fall correctly, and make sure you don't hit anything on the way. Or if you do, just be a god and make your way through anyway. Alright, so now, similarly to the first encounter, we have the Harrow, in which we have to find 3 wizards scattered around this area, kill them, and then proceed. They are denoted by the 3 symbols that you saw just as you dropped down, and so let's go find them. First one is over here. If you see acolytes, that means the wizard is near, because certain groups of acolytes only spawn if certain wizards have spawned. 2 Leviathan's Breath Shots will take out a wizard very nicely. And let's move on to the next one. This next one is just to my left. As you can see, acolytes don't normally spawn here unless the wizard is also here. Somehow I managed to two-shot with Leviathan's Breath even though I missed both. The explosion was actually really good on it, but no one seems to recognize that. Anyway, so now we're going for the third one, which is a bit tricky to get to. At least this one is, because it's a bit tucked away. As you can see, she's just there. And the stagger knocked her off the ledge and she died. Right now all we have to do is make it to the exit and we'll be at the final boss. And here we are at the Cradle of Damnation, ready to take on Zulmac, the Instrument of Torment. So this encounter is pretty simple. It's sort of a mix of the first and second encounters. You gotta kill the Disciples of the Broken Blade in the same way. They drop orbs, you dunk them, and then you damage the boss once you've done all three. So, to start with, we're going to go to the left, we're going to get biotic enhancements procced by hugging this wall. Then we're going to take out the sword bearer, pick up the sword, and go immediately towards the back where the Shrieker is. We do the Shrieker first because not only is it the easiest, but it also allows us to charge up our super for the next one. We're going to leave the orb, and we're going to go over and dunk all three orbs at the end. So now we're onto the wizard. The wizard can also be damaged by the super, but only if you cast it while on your feet. While your feet are on the ground, sorry. Can get a little dicey with this wizard, but you can just hide out there. Hopefully no acolytes come out to see you, but yeah. Anyway, once we're done with the wizard, we can go over to the knight. And take it out the same way as we did before. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get some melee kills with the orb, which will generate orbs of power for us, as well as give us Banner of War stacks, so we can safely go around and dunk these. I like to dunk the orbs not on the pedestals that are right next to the thing, just so Zulmac isn't right next to me while I dunk. So I'm just going around in an anti-clockwise fashion. Now I haven't killed anything because I want to save all the enemies up to start a new Banner of War just before I take on Zulmac. It's just so I can get max stacks and max time. There we go. So now I'm going to dunk. I'm going to start with a grapple melee, which will sever and unravel Zulmac, making it take more damage and deal less. and then just use Leviathan's Breath on its head. If he does the big sword swing with the fire attack, just go around to the other side and you'll be fine. Watch out for the Cursed Wall, thankfully Banner of War is here. Then go and use my super, which does a lot of damage thanks to Banner of War along with Barding Enhancements. Get a parting shot off as well. And yeah, now all we have to do is do that one more time and we're done. So I'm gonna grab a sword, accidentally hit the guy behind him. Gonna start with the Shrieker again. Then move on to the Wizard. Take out some acolytes. Accidentally whiffed the super, I don't know how that happened. It doesn't matter too much because she's dead anyway. Now gonna need a new sword, so I'm just gonna kill another sword bearer. And take on the knight. Now we're going to do the same thing with the orbs. I'm gonna wait here for all the thrall to come up and then just massacre them while holding the orb. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grapple his nuts and then just a few more Leviathan's breath shots and he'll be dead. Almost tragically die here 3 times. And he's done. So yeah, that's the run. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye!